From Kobe Bryant's sexual abuse of a Colorado hotel worker who was 19 years old.
Do I think Kobe raped this woman? Yes. Do I think Kobe thought he was raping this woman? No.
To his relationship with a high school student who is 16 years old.
See the lovely young ladies that I haven't even met yet?
Vanessa?
Vanessa.
Here are 10 instances in which Kobe Bryant went too far with women. The sexual assault case from 2003. Kobe Bryant arrived to the Cordillera Lodge and Spa in Edwards, Colorado, on June 30th, 2003. Caitlin Faber, then 19 years old, was working the front desk. The events that followed would shape the remainder of his life and reveal a pattern of conduct that extended well beyond a single Colorado night. After giving Bryant a tour of a hotel, Faber led him to his room. Her thorough police testimony from July 1st, 2003, claims that in spite of her complaints, the first consensual kissing turned into non-consensual kissing that involved force and choking. She told detectives that throughout the roughly 5-minute attack, Bryant hunched her over a chair, strangled her, and disregarded her repeated no's while she sobbed. Medical investigations showed Bryant had bruising on her neck, vaginal lacerations, and bloodstains on her t-shirt that suggested trauma-related non-menstrual bleeding. The tangible proof clearly showed violence rather than passion. Bryant initially gave a categorical denial when questioned by Eagle County Sheriff investigators on July 2nd. He stated that there had been no interaction at all and that they had only shown her the views of the room and pool. This was not a case of forgetting or confusion. It was deliberate deceit. But Bryant's account took a drastic turn when he was shown DNA proof, his semen within her and her blood on his clothes. Although he acknowledged it now, he maintained that it was voluntary. Choking, which he stated was his desire based on prior experiences, was included in his detailed description of the event. He revealed that this wasn't his first extramarital affair when he casually brought up an affair with a woman named Michelle. On July 18, 2003, Bryant was accused of felony sex assault and might spend the rest of his life behind bars. He acknowledged, but denied, adultery during his news appearance while standing next his expectant wife, Vanessa. It's a stunning contrast. He was able to acknowledge deceiving his expectant wife, but not assault. Unsettling information on Bryant's conduct and mentality was made public by the case. He admitted to the police that choking was a habit he had picked up from earlier experiences. This was not an unsuccessful passionate romance. This activity was repeated, indicating a habit of hostile behavior. Author Jeff Pullman came to a disturbing conclusion about what transpired after conducting a thorough investigation on the case and visiting Eagle, Colorado, to speak with residents.
Yeah, well, I actually went to Eagle, Colorado, where it took place, and spoke with a lot of people. And it's interesting. Like, do I think Kobe raped this woman? Yes. Do I think Kobe thought he was raping this woman? No. And I know that sounds like a cop-out answer, but I don't mean it that way. Kobe Bryant was really awkward, and he was really awkward and actually weirdly inexperienced with women.
Faber refused to appear on September 1st, 2004, citing death threats, excessive media attention, and many court mistakes that revealed her identity, leading to the charges being withdrawn. She needed witness protection because the harassment was so bad. In March 2005, Bryant's well-written statement was part of a reported $2.5 million settlement for a civil action. Even while I firmly think that our interaction was consensual, I now understand that she did not and does not share my perspective on this occasion. This partial apology served as a model for how strong men respond to claims of assault, admitting wrongdoing but denying accountability. The foundation for all subsequent cases was laid by this one. Unequivocal denial at first, evidence requiring partial admission, and then rephrasing the story without ever taking complete responsibility. Additionally, it was clear that this was not Bryant's first extramarital affair, which helped to clarify the pattern of his adultery. The grooming foundation, Vanessa Lane. When 16-year-old Vanessa Lane was hired as a backup dancer for a music video production in late 1999, Kobe Bryant, then 21 years old, met her. She was a high school student balancing part-time employment and courses. He was a rising NBA player and a millionaire. Not only was the power disparity substantial, but it was also defining.
See the lovely young ladies that I haven't even met yet? What's your name?
Vanessa.
Vanessa.
The moment their paths intersected is captured in this little video. The methodical manner in which Bryant pursued a person who couldn't possibly be his equal, however, is not demonstrated. At 16, Vanessa had neither independent wealth nor social power and was still forming her identity and completing her studies. Bryant was already making millions of dollars at the age of 21, was well known throughout the world, and had the power to completely change someone's course in life. The pace of the connection was suspiciously quick. Within a few months, Vanessa's life underwent a radical transformation. On her 18th birthday, Bryant asked her to marry him. That timing begs the question of whether it was coincidental or if he was planning to wait for legal adulthood. She was still finishing high school when the proposal was made, which crammed typical developmental milestones into an unachievably short period of time. Despite fierce opposition from both families, they were married in 2001. According to reports, Bryant's parents opposed the ceremony so much that they were conspicuously missing. This was hardly the usual protectiveness of parents. It was the realization that there was a serious flaw in the beginnings and progression of the relationship. Their entire marriage will be defined by the psychological reliance brought about by the age difference. Before she had even completed creating her own personality, Vanessa gave up her studies and any autonomous career path to become an NBA bride. Beyond Bryant's sphere, she lacked any independent social network, money, or life experience. Tragically, this relationship was made evident during the 2003 affair. Visibly pregnant and distraught, Vanessa stood by Bryant during the press conference, where he acknowledged infidelity while denying it.
The challenge is who you are as a person. You know, to have to go through something like that, you know, with not only individually, but, you know, as a family. And then, you know, for the organization, the Lakers organization, my teammates, it was extremely difficult. And you kind of had to do some soul searching, you know, because you're fighting numerous battles at the same time. And you're just kind of trying to figure your way through all of this mess.
Years later, Bryant's reflection demonstrates his self-centered outlook, even in times of distress. He hardly notices the woman standing next to him as he concentrates on his own psychological journey. Humiliated on national television while pregnant. According to reports, Vanessa miscarried as a result of the stress brought on by the 2003 controversy. A terrible outcome of Bryant's behavior that got little public notice. His answer was instructive. He treated his wife's tragedy as an issue that money might fix by giving her a $4 million purple diamond ring. However, the underlying problems remained. Because of the power disparity that started when she was 16, Vanessa lacked the authority to insist on better treatment in their relationship. The trend became evident when it was revealed that Bryant had been having affairs with several women, which had resulted in her filing for divorce in 2011. Since leaving would mean losing everything she had known since puberty, she would suffer humiliation while he faced few repercussions. Even after their 2013 reconciliation, the foundation was still poisonous. The ideal victim was produced by the connection that started when a 21-year-old pursued a 16-year-old. Someone who is psychologically conditioned to accept unpleasant behavior as the price of security, socially isolated and financially dependent. The 105 matters. Before you look at the systematic evidence, the number seems ludicrous. According to tabloids, Bryant had up to 105 extramarital affairs. Additionally, the pattern of activity points to widespread infidelity that went much beyond single errors in judgment, even though the precise number has not been confirmed. Vanessa was made aware of Bryant's continuous infidelity by sources like his basketball wives, which meant that his extramarital affairs were so prevalent and blatant that they were widely known in NBA circles. The systematic, degrading treatment was finished. Everyone in their social circle knew about his actions, but it seems that his wife was the last to fully understand the extent of his treachery. The Colorado case from 2003 wasn't an exception. It was one recorded instance of a pattern of behavior that persisted throughout his marriage. Instead of being an act of passion, Bryant's statement to the police that choking was his thing implied practicing behavior. Rather than betraying his marriage vows, he was treating extramarital affairs as commonplace occurrences when he casually brought up his affair with Michelle during interrogation. It is astounding how much infrastructure is needed for such systematic infidelity. Bryant had to manage pregnancy concerns and STD risks, plan intricate schedules to avoid detection, keep hundreds of relationships secret, and deal with the ongoing fear of exposure. There was no lack of self-control causing this compulsive conduct. It was a well-planned scheme that pursued satisfaction wherever he could and viewed his marriage as a publicity stunt.